Hey guys, Gus Brews here. So today I'm going to show you how I brew beer with a BrewMagic system from start all the way to the end. Okay, so give yourself 3 days ahead before brewing day. Make sure you have all ingredients. And you want to freeze water. In my case, I need to freeze water, and that's for my wort chiller. Alright, keep in mind, I already cleaned this whole system with PBW. Rinsed it off, and I did put Starsen as well, but I'm gonna go ahead and use Starsen for all my little fittings. Your buddy, good friend. So one of the big questions that everybody asks is it okay if it has a little bit of foam? It's not gonna do anything. You can literally drink that stuff, nothing's gonna happen. And that's pretty much it. So we got all our system clean, and at the same time, keep in mind you want to check for leaks. Make sure there's no leaks for the big day tomorrow. And you're set to go. Hey, good morning, Gus Brews here. So yesterday we went ahead and boiled 5 gallons with a half a tablet of Camden, of course, with a filter carbonated water. So I'm gonna fill it up with spring water up to, I want to get 11 gallons. And start boiling that up. We're gonna heat it up at 165. Because once you add your grains, it's going to drop it down to 155. So you only want this at 165. Do not, repeat, do not go over 170. Do not let it go over 170. Rule of thumb, okay? So in this controller, I want my target to be at 155. I'm gonna enter. Now I got my target at 155. So when my heat goes on, and it's gonna notify me, it'll start beeping. It's gonna beep me that my mash water is at 155. Okay, and at that time, that's when I come over and I turn it off, and then we start doing our sparge. One thing I did kind of dislike about this Savco machine is that I kind of wish it did monitor how hot my HLT or my strike water. There's no monitor, you just gotta watch it. Sometimes I've gone over and it's really inconvenient. But other than that, it's a really pretty good system. No, don't do it! So like I mentioned before, so while we're waiting for our sparge water to heat up to 165, we're gonna go ahead and do our grinds here. What you basically just want to do is just kind of like want to just crack them open. That's pretty much it. You don't want some fine grind. You don't want it to be powdered. All that's gonna clog up your system. Plus, well, all that's just gonna clog up your system. Here we go. I should mention, it's a good idea to wear a mask while you're doing this as well. All those little fine grinds, you don't want to breathe that. So let me stop this camera and get a mask. Plus it makes me look better. So what I'm using a 3-wheel grinder. So I got my water at 165, my sparge water. And so what we're going to do, I'm just going to go ahead and transfer it to my mash. There's a false bottom there, and I just want it to go 1 inch above that false bottom. Okay, that's good. I'm gonna shut it off. Valve number 3. I'm just gonna throw my grains in there. I'm going to shut valve number 4. All we want to do, we want to start a whirlpool. I'm pretty close there. Turn on my mash. So this is where the monitoring begins. This whole system is basically just for the mash. I'm at 149. When it reaches 155, that's when my whirlpool is going to start. I'm going to pump a little bit more. Sorry, under the instructions. 60 minutes. So while I was doing my mash water, my strike water drop temperature. So I want to bring it back up to 165. I'm at 155, and this is where you have to be careful not to get distracted and do other things. Another thing you want to do is probably just keep a slow, small little flame on your mash. Just a small little thing, real low. So that's gonna do this. That's gonna, you're helping it out. So I still got my self-regulating system going, but I'm just gonna do a mash up. So all you do is just raise the temperature. That's all you gotta do. Your goal is 170. 10 minutes.
So as I'm setting up for my wort chiller, it happened.
Oh,
I got distracted and I mashed out at 180.
and this is where you have to be careful not to get distracted and do other things. Okay, so we're done with our mash out. What we're doing now is just transferring mash over to our boil. I'm gonna go ahead and start my boil up. I'm basically just putting all my grains to one side. I'm just squeezing them together to try to get as much juices out of it. That's all I'm doing. My goal was 7.5. I am good. We're just gonna concentrate on the boil now. That's it. We're done with the mash. We're done with the HLT. Get rid of those, start cleaning them, and start getting ready for the wort chiller. So in the Brew Your Own 2020 May-June edition, in the very back, page 96, there's a project here. And I was looking at it, and I noticed that the strainer was going upward. I wanted to try the same thing. I went ahead and did an experiment last night, and I really loved it. Now we're just waiting for the boil. Another mistake I've done is that when I'm cleaning my system, I've dropped the gasket inside my boil, and there's just no way of taking it out. I called my brew buddy and he told me, don't worry about it, nothing's ever happened. Those gaskets could take quite a bit of heat. So now I'm real careful of when I take off this tubing from the boil, because I'm gonna start cleaning my system. Okay, so now it started boiling aggressively. So from here, that's when we start timing everything. We're gonna take it for 90 minutes from now. Gelina hops, Gelina. Irish moss. There you go. A yeast energizer. I strongly recommend it. These three go together. So one little cool thing that I bought was this little device here. Bought at Amazon. So it gives me 3 times. Lets me know when to put my Gelinas, when to put my Cascade, and when to put my last Cascade. So I got my boil going. Still need a few more minutes. Got the wort chiller ready. And one thing I did as well, I got my ice ready. That's where I'm gonna put my sub pump. It's gonna be right into my wort chiller, and that's how we're gonna cool it down. Half an ounce for this recipe. I mean a whole teaspoon of Irish moss. What I use, just a regular hardware sub pump. So I got everything going. I got my oxygen tank with a filter. All I need is just a little bit of oxygen. I got it at 1.5. That's one important thing. One time I forgot to turn it on. So we're done.
First you
gotta do the transfer. Okay, so what we're doing now, we're gonna go ahead and turn on the oxygen. 1.5. Turn on the sub pump. And now I'm gonna transfer over. Turn on the pump. So we get beer. All this is Star Sand. Keep in mind I had to clean. There we go. It's a strainer. That's star sand, you don't want none of that. Might take a while. So you start seeing brown stuff. That's beer right there. What do you think about it? Okay.
Yeah, right there is beer. Stop.
Okay. Now I'm going to just transfer it over to my fermenter. Okay. Got that open. Transfer. You still got it going? Yeah, still going.
Like a dumbass, I forgot to open the valve.
What's going on? Got an air bubble somewhere. Try it.
Transferring right now a little bit. Very little though.
I'm not gonna have enough water. That's what I'm afraid of.
Let's get the water loose.
To do this, but it has to be done. Okay, here we go. Shoot, I have this valve closed. That's what I'm talking about. These things happen. Got this valve closed. Modification I did with the Mohab with a strainer. Didn't quite work very well. Rule of thumb. Keep it simple, stupid. It looks good though. So now we're gonna just add our yeast. Put it in the refrigerator and call it good. I just pitch it right in there. And there's our beer. Okay, so it's been 2 weeks. So now what we're gonna do is called kegging. We're gonna go ahead and transfer our wort from our fermenter into our keg. Okay, let me show you how it's done. So now your out is going to be your in. The long tube side is where you want it to go in. One thing you want to do, you want to throw some CO2 in there. Since CO2 is heavier than air, you want all the air out of the keg. So let's throw some CO2 in there. All it is CO2. Now what I'm going to do here, I'm going to go ahead and put 10 pounds of pressure to push out my wort to my keg. Okay, once you got your CO2 in there, cover your keg as much as possible. Open your valves. Start pushing out the wort. I'm going to put 10 pounds of pressure. So I do have another video out there where I show you how to modify my fermenter. That's how I was able to push my wort with CO2. So I'm almost there. First thing you want to do is shut off your CO2. Once you start seeing some yuck stuff, that's when you turn it off. Almost there. Feel it. This keg's getting full. Oh yeah. Okay, that's it. You want to close it up as soon as possible. You don't want no air in there. Keg. Okay, now we're gonna burp it. What is burping? I'm gonna fill up a little bit with CO2 and release the pressure valve. About 10 pounds will be fine. And your last one, you leave it with a little bit of CO2 in there. That's it, you're done. So this is how it looks after you're done. That's where all your yeast. Notice how that tube is to the side, not directly straight into the wort. Okay, so this is the last step here. I got the keg going at 39 degrees Fahrenheit. This is actually showing me volume per pound. 40. It's going to be about 8 pounds. I like to go a little bit over, so we'll go 8 or 9 pounds. All right, let me hook this up and show you how this works. This step here creates quite a mess. I strongly recommend for you to put a bucket underneath your keg. It's my CO2 line. Alright, keep in mind that the in line goes in your out, and your out is going to go on your in on this quick carb. Okay, so you don't want to put any star sign on your keg, so we're going to pump it out until we start seeing beer. That's all beer there. Now we're gonna turn on the CO2. All right, so I've been quick carbing it for about an hour and 20 minutes, burping it every 20 minutes, every half hour or so. Okay, so let's you're gonna try. One thing you want to do before you disconnect this, make sure you turn off your CO2 or it's gonna create a mess. Turn off your CO2. And one way by testing your beer is by tasting it. So let's see what it tastes like. Nicely carbonated. See what it tastes like. Smells good. Oh god, that's good. Alright guys, cheers. We did it. Hey guys, if you like what you saw, give me a like. Tell me your pros, your cons, give me a comment. Cheers.